Thank you so much, Chris. While Chris talked about agenda setting initiatives for CIOs and what's the next step, we thought it was very essential to put our foot on the ground and say that this is what my challenge is today, right? So for that reality check and from an Indian perspective, we have asked Mr. Pravir Vohra to share a few thoughts on the challenges that CIOs face today. Pravir.
I'll take that, but I need something else up here. You guys hear me? Great. I think I'm going to do a couple of things. First of all, absolutely delighted. It's a pleasure to be here amongst all of you. I realize I'm standing between you and a very ritzy entertainment evening plan and lunch and the meal. And for those of you who have spouses, I'm sure you want to be throwing darts at me. So I'm going to do two things. I'm going to kind of adapt, and I'm going to hit the accelerator. I do have a presentation. I'm hoping it will come up. But I'm not going to go through it as I would have had we had more time. What I would suggest is, in the breaks, we could discuss the breaks that I've left in, whatever I present. When the forum spoke to me some days ago and said they want me to speak about challenges that CIOs face, I said, oh, gosh, that itself is a challenge. How are you going to talk about challenges? There is indeed a challenge. Then I said, what is it I'm going to talk about? So let me caveat this by saying these are the views of a banking practitioner. They are specific to BFSI. Sorry, can't hear me? Kind of late in the day to say that, guys. Are we okay? Yeah, I can hear the boom. Okay, the small print, fine print is that these are personal experiences. They are not based on research. They are not based on what perhaps all of you face. Yet my hot sense is many of us face the same challenges in different degrees, means, and forms. With that, I'll get into what I would call a kind of expectation. I'm not very sure. For a CIO, I'm pretty lousy with these problems. See what I did? I need some help. How do I get this? All right, so I just wanted to set the stage. What's happening around us in the world? It's chaotic, it's crazy, it's unpredictable. We have people telling us about strategy. All these guys told me different things 24 months ago, 18 months ago, 6 months ago, and see what Mr. Bernanke is saying in the papers today. So the world is completely changing. It's changing in ways we can't understand. I'm not going to read all of this, but it's actually telling you, this is like a gun let loose. It's pointing in different directions. Things are happening. We are, as CIOs and as senior management in companies, we are kind of expected to know. Clearly, a verbalization of what is happening to the external dynamics. Some of this is specific to banking. I'm sure pretty much it will impact everybody. The export industries maybe a little more, rural industries perhaps a little less. But clearly, we were saying we are insulated. We are not exposed to the world. That's all bunkum. We see it's all bunkum. There is this huge dovetailing that the world economy has got into. Within India itself, we see customer demographics changing. Is there something called customer loyalty? 30 years ago when I worked for State Bank, people came, they sat down, spent hours with the branch manager, having coffee, chit-chatting. That time is gone. Nobody wants to do it. The supply side doesn't want to do it. There is no demand side, of course. Our businesses are run more on intelligent analytics, on customer selection, on targeted campaigns that we run. Industry is consolidating distribution channels. People are quick to exploit opportunities, and there is increased competition. And every time you have a faux pas of sorts, there is stricter and unpredicted kind of government regulation. Somebody will say, if you raise money in Canada, you shouldn't deploy it outside Canada. Other governments will do similar stuff. So really, the world is, in some sense, as we knew it, it's changing very, very rapidly. And these are the dynamics that in some way affect our lives.
Why don't you just, I just say go based on this.
Before we talk of CIO challenges, and all of us love to do that, I wanted to talk about, do we realize as CIOs what are the challenges that businesses face? I can assure you, my friends, businesses face bigger challenges than we do. There is increased pressure on businesses because of analysts, because of market expectations, because of the implosion of the world as we knew it that is happening. There's pressure to expand into new markets, into new geographies, to launch products sometimes that they know nothing about. Chris mentioned earlier, how are you going to implement a project which you don't understand? Let's get real. That's going to happen to us all the time. We are kind of discovering it. It's not a good way, it's not the classical textbook way, but it's really the only way left to us. If you want full clarity on what is expected, that's not going to happen in a hurry. And clearly, therefore, in this maddening world, businesses are trying to innovate and launch new products and services in ways that we would have thought harakiri 10 or 15 years ago. Offline, I'm happy to take you through some of the innovations ICICI Bank is now. 90% of our innovations the customer will never see. They are purely internal facing. For example, in certain markets, we have equipment that digitizes the serial number on every currency note that we've accepted, puts it into a database against the name of the corporate that deposited it. These notes come in bulk. So this is the currency counting machine that only has a camera fitted on it, but with the resolution, recognition accuracy that actually puts all this into a database. So we can discuss some of these innovations, but that is the world around us, and it's going to kind of happen. Easiest is to say, didn't work. I'm sorry, I seem to have very brown fingers as far as it comes to this. So clearly,